Something changed in 2011. An ancient text that nobody could understand for 1,200 years suddenly made perfect sense. The Emerald Tablet. And the reason it makes sense now, that's the part that should terrify you. Here's what I mean. For over 1,000 years, alchemists studied this tablet. Isaac Newton translated it. Secret societies built entire belief systems around it. People dedicated their entire lives trying to decode what it said. And then in March 2011, someone posted a book online. 165 pages, anonymous author, free download, and it explained everything. Within weeks, thousands of people were following the instructions, building labs in their basements, ordering equipment, starting the process. The process to create the Philosopher's Stone. You know, the thing that grants eternal life? The substance that turns lead into gold. That Philosopher's Stone. And here's the wildest part. The recipe only requires one ingredient, and you already have it. But before I tell you what it is, you need to understand why this matters right now. Why, after 12 centuries of mystery, the Emerald Tablet suddenly makes sense in 2011. Because something happened. Something shifted. And I don't think it was an accident. The Emerald Tablet is a short text, only 24 lines. But those 24 lines supposedly contain the secret to everything in the universe. It was written by Hermes Trismegistus, 3 times great. The Greeks said he was a combination of their god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth. But here's where it gets strange. The Egyptians didn't think Thoth was a god. They thought he was a person, a real person who came from somewhere else and brought knowledge that humans weren't supposed to have yet. Advanced chemistry, astronomy, mathematics, architecture, medicine, and the recipe for immortality. Now, the earliest known copy of the Emerald Tablet dates back 1,200 years, but that's just the earliest copy we found. The text itself claims to be much, much older, and the story of how it was discovered, that's where things get weird. 1st century AD, a philosopher named Apollonius is studying in a library when he finds a strange book. Green leather binding, pages made of material he doesn't recognize, written in a language he's never seen, but he studies it and realizes it's about alchemy, the secrets of the universe, hidden forces of nature. So he goes looking for the author. After years of searching, he finds a cave, under a statue, at the end of a dark passage, and there, sitting on a golden throne, is a corpse, Hermes Trismegistus, dead for who knows how long, still holding a book in one hand, and in the other, a tablet, carved from a single piece of green stone, almost 4 feet long, 3 feet wide, covered in text. Apollonius takes the tablet, studies it, and realizes he's holding the most important document in human history. Then he loses it. I'm serious. It disappears for centuries. Nobody knows where it went. Some say it ended up in the Library of Alexandria and burned. Others think the Knights Templar took it. Maybe it's in the Vatican archives. But here's the thing. Even without the original tablet, the text survived. Copied, translated, passed down through secret societies and alchemist guilds, and nobody could fully understand it. Because it's written in riddles, metaphors, symbolic language. The most famous line, as above, so below. What does that mean? Well, depends who you ask. Occultists say it means the microcosm reflects the macrocosm. What happens in the heavens happens on Earth. What's inside you reflects the universe outside you. Alchemists say it's about transformation. The physical and spiritual are mirrors of each other. But here's what everyone agreed on. The emerald tablet contained instructions for creating the Philosopher's Stone, a substance that could turn base metals into gold and grant you eternal life. And for 1,000 years, the brightest minds in history tried to figure out how. Isaac Newton, he spent the last 30 years of his life obsessed with it, made his own translations, filled notebooks with alchemical formulas, conducted experiments in secret. The man who discovered gravity was convinced immortality was possible, and he was using the Emerald Tablet as his guide. Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II brought the best alchemists in Europe to his court, gave them private labs, unlimited budgets, one mission: create the Philosopher's Stone. And then there's Nicholas Flamel, a 14th century scribe who, according to legend, actually succeeded. He and his wife supposedly created the stone, achieved immortality, and faked their deaths in 1418. Some people believe they're still alive, 600 years later. So why couldn't anyone else do it? Because the instructions were deliberately obscure. The old alchemical texts used confusing metaphors on purpose. This was disinformation, a way to hide the truth in plain sight. Only those who knew how to decode the symbolism could follow the recipe. And then March 11th, 2011 happened. A book appears online, The Book of Aquarius, anonymous author, posted to a forum, free to download, and the very first page says this: "The age of secrets is over." There is no need for mystical language or metaphor. This book contains no hidden meaning or codes. Everything is stated plainly and directly. Wait, what? Someone just gave away the secret? The thing people have been trying to figure out for 1,200 years. Yes. Step-by-step instructions, what equipment you need, what temperature to maintain, how long each phase takes, what the results should look like, what it should smell like, everything. And within days, people started trying it. The author set up a website, a forum, where people could share their progress, ask questions, post pictures of their results, and the author would answer, give advice, help troubleshoot. This went on for years, long enough for some people to get pretty far into the process. But here's what nobody talks about. Why 2011? Why did this anonymous person suddenly decide to release this information after it had been kept secret for over a millennium? The author claims it's because we're entering the age of Aquarius, a new era of enlightenment. Humanity is ready for this knowledge now. But I think there's another reason. Because the one ingredient you need to create the Philosopher's Stone, it's not some rare mineral. It's not a plant that only grows in one location. It's urine. I know how that sounds, but hear me out. Because this actually makes sense when you understand what the Philosopher's Stone is supposed to be. It's concentrated life force, the essence of vitality, purified and condensed. And where do you find life essence? In the human body, in blood, sweat, and yes, in waste. Medieval alchemists knew this. Paracelsus, the famous Swiss alchemist, wrote about it in the 1500s. He said life essence was in all bodily fluids. And in 1669, a German alchemist named Hennig Brand tried to create the Philosopher's Stone from urine. He distilled 1,500 gallons of it. He didn't create the stone. But he did accidentally discover phosphorus, a substance that glowed in the dark, which to him must have seemed like proof that he was on the right track. So the Book of Aquarius gives you the full process. Distill it. Remove the dense particles, distill again. Remove the light particles, which form a salt. Combine the salt with the distilled liquid. Heat it continuously for a year until it turns black. Keep heating, it turns white. Heat more, it turns red, and then you have it, the Philosopher's Stone. People actually did this. They posted updates on the forum, shared tips, discussed how different foods affected the quality of their essence. This wasn't a joke. These were serious people following a serious recipe that took years to complete. And some of them claimed to be making progress. And then the website disappeared. No warning, no explanation. One day it was there, the next day, gone. The book is still available if you know where to look. But the forum, the community, the conversations people were having, all scrubbed. Now, was it the Illuminati? Some shadowy group that didn't want this information public? Maybe. Or maybe it was a hoax that went too far. An elaborate prank by someone who wanted to see how many people would actually try it. But here's what bothers me. The Book of Aquarius is 165 pages. It references 49 different alchemical texts spanning 1,000 years. Some of those texts are incredibly obscure, hard to find, written in languages most people don't speak. That's a lot of effort for a prank. And nobody has ever come forward to claim credit. No one has said, hey, I wrote that as a joke, so either it's real, or someone out there knows a secret and isn't telling. But let's go back to the Emerald Tablet itself, because there's something in the text that's even stranger than the recipe for eternal life. It talks about the one thing, the source of all creation, the force that permeates everything in the universe. It says this force can be harnessed, controlled, used. And that knowledge, that's what was really being hidden. Not just how to live forever, but how to manipulate the fundamental energy of reality itself. Think about it. If you could tap into that force, immortality would just be the beginning. You could heal any illness, transmute matter, bend the laws of physics, create anything you wanted. That's what the Emerald Tablet really promises. Not just gold, not just a long life, power over reality itself. And maybe that's why it was written in riddles. Maybe that's why it was kept secret for so long. Because if everyone had that power, chaos, destruction, the end of everything. But in 2011, someone decided we were ready. Or maybe they decided it didn't matter anymore, that the secret had to come out. Why? I don't know, but the timing is interesting. 2011 was the year the Arab Spring started. WikiLeaks was releasing classified documents. Anonymous was hacking governments. Occupy Wall Street was happening. It was a year of secrets being exposed, of information breaking free. Maybe the Book of Aquarius was part of that. One more secret that couldn't stay buried, or maybe someone knew something was coming, something that would make immortality necessary, or at least desirable. Here's what I want you to think about. If you could live forever, would you? If you could create the Philosopher's Stone, would you try? Or is there a reason we're supposed to die? A reason our time here is limited? Drop a comment. Tell me, do you think the Emerald Tablet contains real knowledge? Or is it just an ancient con that fooled the smartest people in history? Because honestly, I don't know. But the fact that people are still trying to decode it, still searching for the stone, still believing it's possible, that tells me something. And here's the thing I haven't told you yet. The Emerald Tablet isn't the only ancient manuscript that claims to hold impossible knowledge. It's not the only text that promises power over forces we don't understand. There's another one. A book so massive it shouldn't exist. 165 pounds, 3 feet tall, written by a single monk in what should have been an impossible amount of time. And inside it, instructions for things humans weren't supposed to know. Rituals, invocations, knowledge that was considered so dangerous. 10 pages were surgically removed from the book, cut out, hidden, lost to history. It's called the Codex Gigas, the Devil's Bible, and where the Emerald Tablet talks about harnessing the one force, the Codex Gigas shows you what happens when you try. I've already uncovered it. Every page, every mystery, every reason it was called the most cursed manuscript in existence. That video is waiting for you right now. But before you click, understand something. The Emerald Tablet promises immortality. The Codex Gigas shows you what immortality costs. One text gives you the recipe, the other shows you why some people wish they never found it. Click the video on your screen and see what happens when ancient knowledge meets human ambition.